Hey everybody, welcome back to another bonus features video for digital making at home. This one is an add-on video for the story generator project that I did with Zach before. So if you haven't done that project already, I suggest you go across, watch that video and build the story generator because the bit we're about to add is just a little fruity bit to make it look a little bit more interesting, slightly less static and stiff. So if you haven't built the project already, this one is probably going to be a bit of a waste of time for you. So go back, do the project, come back to this one, I'll show you how to make your little centaur or your character bounce backwards and forwards. So what we're going to do is I'll switch across to my Scratch now so you can see what I've got. So this is the project as it stands. You can see we've got it here. When I push space, he'll say the words. When I click the sprite, if you remember, he speaks them out loud. And what I want him to do is when he's talking, I'll show you the game. And when he's talking...
Let me think. One magical morning an ugly shield went to see his friend the magical dragon. They went to fight a sword.
It's just a bit too static. Like, it doesn't really move. You can't really tell that he's talking or anything like that. So what I want to do is I'm going to add another script, okay? So another bit of code to my sprite. That means that when he's talking, when I click him, he should move backwards and forwards a little bit like he's talking in a cheap cartoon. So I'm going to take when this sprite clicked, and I'll pop it down here, okay? And I'll pump up my blocks a little so you can see them. So when this sprite clicked, I want him to do a repeat, okay? So he's going to repeat this thing the number of times that I tell him to do that. And we're going to fine tune that in a little bit to make sure that he's moving backwards and forwards for the right amount of time. So the next thing we want is motion, because we want it to be moving. So we're going to tell him to turn right, and I only want that to be about 5 degrees. Then I want him to wait. So I want my centaur to wait for about 1/10 of a second. So if you know your decimals, that's 0.1 of a second, and we can alter that if you like. If you don't like these numbers, obviously you can change them however you want. That's no problem. What I'm going to do now is I've got my turn 5 degrees to the right, wait a half a second, then I want him to turn back the other direction. So I click that, and you see the two arrows are different directions. He's turning right and then left. I'm going to make him go back a full 10 degrees. So he turn 5, and then he'll go back and another 5 the opposite direction. Then I'm going to take these and pop them in here. Okay, so you see I've done it wrong there, right? So he doesn't like that. What we want to do is take this and pop that in, and I'll make sure that he goes back to 5 degrees. Now, you'll see here that my guy is, let's make that bigger so you can see him. So you see he's sideways. That's not really what I want him to be because I messed it up. So I'm going to take this point in direction 90. I just tap it once and he goes back to the way that he was. Okay, so
Let me think. One magical morning a mighty sword went to see his friend the brave
sword. So only 10 repetitions is not enough. So I want to take this number and I'll up it a bit. Let's say 25 repetitions and see how we go. So if I click on him now...
Let me think. One magical morning a mighty shield went to see his friend the magical sword. They went to chop a shield.
Still not enough. So you see he's still reading the story and he's stopped moving, and that's not really what I'm after. I want him to keep moving the whole time that he's reading out loud to me so it looks like he's talking. So I'm going to keep changing these repetitions. So 25 wasn't enough. It was about halfway through the story when he finished. So I'm going to say double that and a bit more. So I reckon 50 and a bit more would make it 60. Let's try 60 repetitions and see what we get out of our centaur.
Let me think. One magical morning an ugly dragon went to see his friend the strong wizard. They went to walk a sword. It was amazing. The end.
Oh, it's still a little bit long. Look, he's still going. Okay, so I want to take a few of those repetitions off him. Let's see, what do we reckon? Should we try 50 and see what we get?
Let me think. One magical morning a magical knight went to see his friend the strong sword. They went to walk a sword. It was amazing. The end.
Oh, we're still going a little bit long, so let's slow him down again. Let's try that and see where we get it.
Let me think. One magical morning a magical sword went to see his friend the magical wizard. They went to decapitate a sword. It was amazing. The end.
Hey, bang on. Okay, so about 40 repetitions for me because of the length of my story. If your story is different, you've got more lines, etc., you'll need to fine-tune those repetitions in for yourself. But you'll notice that now when I click him again...
Let me think. One magical morning a magical wizard went to see his friend the strong sword. They went to chop a dragon. It was amazing. The end.
Cool. Right. So depending on the words he says, it might be a couple of milliseconds out or a little bit out when he finishes. But that's okay. We can fine tune those in. There are other ways that we can do that, but this is the nicest, easiest, cleanest way to have him move backwards and forwards when he's talking. So that makes your project a little bit more interesting, guys. The next bonus features video that I'm going to do for you will be to show you how to import massive lists of words. So you can import 100 or so words into your list of nouns, verbs, and adjectives. And that just means that your story can be more random. It will come up with more permutations, different kinds of stories as it goes along. So remember to submit your work when you're happy with it and you're finished. Go to rpf.io/home and submit your stuff to us. We'd love to see all the things that you're making. And remember, everybody, just because we aren't together all at the same time doesn't mean we can't keep making cool stuff on the internet. So keep watching our videos, keep making stuff, submit it to rpf.io/home. Stay home, stay safe, and I'll see you on my next video. Bye, everyone.